all my good colleagues, advisor, deputy advisor, assistant advisors, consultants, panelists of today's webinar, and dear curious participants. A very healthy good morning to everybody and warm welcome in this webinar. First, let me thank our Almighty God for keeping us safe and healthy in this pandemic situation. Now, the credit for this program, this webinar, goes to our director, Dr. S.C. Sharma ji, who has initiated and has a good thought process related that he wants that all the HEIs in our country should have a very good grade. They should provide a very good quality of higher education to the stakeholders of our country, that is the students specifically. So, dear intellectual, there is a reason for that only this webinar was initiated. It's his brainchild. Now, the credit of this program, of course, goes to him. Now, dear intellectuals, some facts I will be sharing with you related with our higher education system, because it is essential why we are moving. That the base behind this program is very essential for everybody to know. So, dear intellectuals, in our country, we have 993 universities, 39,931 colleges, 10,725 standalone institutions. If we total it, it is around 51,649 institutions in class, and it's the second largest higher education system in the world, catering to around 37.4 million of students and around 14,16,299 teachers. With this much of big number, basically it can be, or it has to be, an asset of the company which can be utilized to solve the issues and the problems in our economy. Yes, and for that, to make it as an asset, it's a continuously striving for excellence is essential, and for that this quality in higher education matters. So friends, quality in higher education basically provides the learners with the capability they require to become economically productive, develop sustainable livelihood, contribute to peaceful and democratic society, and enhance individual well-being. So there are a number of reasons for the quality of higher education, a number of benefits for the same. It is also related to the value for money, both in case of efficiency and effectiveness. So quality in higher education has a numerous advantage. It not only benefits the student, but also beneficial for the teachers as an individual, in addition to the institution overall. Thus, friends, our HRD Minister, Mr. Nishant Pokhriyal ji, and much about that, our beloved Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi ji, also bats extensively for quality in higher education. And there is a reason for this, because they believe that with that, there can be an upliftment of our economy to a greater extent. And believe me, friends, the world is watching us to bring the difference in the economy through this higher education institution and its system. So, under the leadership of our director, we in our NAAC continuously strives for quest for excellence. That is also one of the core values of our tool. And with that process, in this lockdown period also, we have come out with more than 100 webinars in order to guide the institution of higher education to understand, provide them understanding related with the ANA process. And maximum of this credit goes to our director, and of course our ICT people, Amay Kumarji and Samuel, has also to say for this good work. Thus, in continuation with the same, we have come out with a planning of a webinar on presentation by HEIs who have secured A++ in NAAC's ANA process on best practices adopted by them. So, taking this second step, this is our second webinar related with that process. We have invited St. Joseph's College, Bangalore, who have secured A++ grade in NAAC, and it's very old college. The detail will be shared by principal. The topic picked by them for this presentation is engaging minds and hearts, research, extension, and education. Something very interesting, catchy topic. So to elaborate the same, we have with us Dr. Father Victor Lobo, SJ, principal of this college, and his colleagues, Dr. Syed Wajid, Director IQAC, and Dr. Alan Godfrey from St. Joseph College, Bangalore. The detail about the same will be shared by you, our Dr. Srinivas ji, Deputy Advisor with us. He will be talking, describing or sharing about them in next 5 minutes. Then after the presentation, a question answer session will be held, which will be managed basically by our very efficient Dr. Amay Kumarji and Mr. Samuel, and thereafter the vote of thanks will be given by Mr. A.V. Prasad. So friends, before moving ahead, let me share with you a very important line about daily routine, and it is very nicely explained in our scriptures. And I intentionally share every time this line because it is the need of the hour that every stakeholders of higher education should proceed with that concept. And that states that what you do on a daily basis, yes friends, what you do on a daily basis, even though imperfectly done, will bring far better results than what you do perfectly but on irregular basis. So what does this mean? It is related with our quality. Yes, it can be, it has to be. A little bit of quality upgradation in your institution, yes, a little bit of upgradation in your institution on a daily basis will bring far better results and great change in the quality in higher education institution all over the country, benefiting all the total people, the population of our country. It will benefit directly or indirectly immensely. So, dear intellectuals, take the benefit of this webinar for a difference in your higher education institutions. Now I request Dr. Srinivas ji to take forward this program. Thanks for your attention. Namaste. Srinivas ji.
Sir. Namaste, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, Kaude, sir, for nice introduction. Good morning, all. It is my pleasure to introduce today's speakers. First, I would like to introduce Father Dr. Victor Lobo S.J. Father Victor Lobo S.J. is the principal of St. Joseph College, Autonomous, Bangalore. Father completed his BA in Urdu, MA in English from Bangalore University, and he obtained his PhD from Kuvempu University, Shimoga. Father is well versed in Arabic and Persian languages. He is an active member of inter-religious peace and harmony movements. He has attended international conferences in more than 15 countries and has a few publications to his credit. And he has served in various parts of Karnataka, including Bangalore, Mangalore, Harihar, Anekal, etc. At present, Father is working as principal of esteemed St. Joseph College. Secondly, I would like to introduce our colleague, Dr. Syed Wazid. Dr. Syed Wazid, a microbiologist specialized in protein biochemistry, works as an associate professor in the Department of Microbiology and former HOD also. He joined St. Joseph's College in the year 2003. He completed his PhD from Manipal University on mutational and biochemical analysis of adenyl cyclase from Mycobacterium avium. He is now working on cytotoxicity of ionic liquids. At present, he is director of IQAC, is a nodal officer, NIRF and other ranking agencies, and is a coordinator, Paramash, and UGC scheme for mentoring NAAC accreditation aspirant institution. He also structured choice-based credit system for the undergraduate and postgraduate students of the college. He has organized various seminars and workshops both related to his field and NAAC. He has been a resource person for more than 30 seminars and workshops related to NAAC and higher education. Now, I would like to introduce one more speaker, that is Dr. Alan. Alan Godfrey is a social work educator specialized in the field of community development. He has done his PhD from Pondicherry University on tribal women health. His area of expertise is on tribal development. Other areas of interest includes caste and gender discrimination and subaltern studies in Indian context. He has been a resource person for national and international conferences. He has conducted about 15 workshops on research methods in social works and SPSS at several institutions. He has to his credit several presentations and few publications. Since 2016, he has been associated with St. Joseph College and working in the Department of Social Work. He serves as PG coordinator, IQAC member, and fieldwork coordinator for the Office of Fieldwork Education there. Now, may I request Father Dr. Victor Lobo, sir, to step in and give an insight into the profile of the institution. Over to Further, Victor Lobos. Yes, sir.
Yes. Hope you can see our slides, right, sir? Can you hear us, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible, and you can go ahead.
Good morning. At the outset, I would like to thank Professor S.C. Sharma, Director of NAAC, and all the advisors and deputy advisors of NAAC for such a great initiative. Making colleges present their best practices is indeed the best practice of NAAC. We base our presentation on engaging minds and hearts through research, extension, and education. The glance of our institution. It was founded in 1882 and is administered by Bangalore Jesuit Educational Society. In short, they're called Jesuits, who run schools, colleges, and universities across the country and the world. The motto of the college in Latin is Fide et Labore, meaning faith and toil. The vision of the institution is to prepare men and women for the service of others, especially the poor and the oppressed. We've got triple objectives of the institution: academic excellence, character formation, and social concern. And our mission is St. Joseph's College seeks men and women who will be agents of change, committed to the creation of a society that is just, secular, and democratic. The important milestones of the institution. It was established in 1882 and affiliated to Madras University. In 1937, it was handed over to the Society of Jesus or the Jesuits. In 1947, the college is affiliated to Mysore University. In 1967, the college was granted permanent affiliation to Bangalore University. In 1986, it was the first affiliated college in Karnataka to offer postgraduate programs. In 1999, the college underwent first cycle of NAAC accreditation, and it was the establishment of the research center in Karnataka. In 2004, the UGC recognized the college as college with potential for excellence. In 2005, UGC granted autonomy to the college. In 2006, the second cycle of NAAC accreditation. In 2012, third cycle of NAAC accreditation. 2014, the college was recognized by UGC as a college of excellence. In 2015, the college was granted the status of DST College. And 2017, the college underwent the fourth cycle of NAAC accreditation. And 2018, the star status under DBT Star College scheme was conferred on the college. And the same year, 2018, MHRD upgraded the college into a university under RUSA and directed the state government of Karnataka to pass St. Joseph's University Act. The college has 28 undergraduate, 16 postgraduate, and 4 doctoral programs. We have 375 members on the staff. We completed 4 cycles of NAAC. The students sent for the last year was over 6,300, and for this year, it will be over 7,000. The college runs 48 certificate courses. These are the programs in general the college is offering. BSc programs, natural sciences and physical sciences. We have got BA programs, then social science programs, vocational programs, commerce and management programs, then postgraduate programs, and doctoral programs. These are a few, very, very few noted alumni of the institution. There are many more who are spread across the country and the world. Now, may I request Dr. Syed Wajid, the IQAC director of the college, to present institution.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir, you can proceed.
Thank you, Father Principal. Thank you, Dr. Srinivas. The best way to connect students is through hearts and their minds. Education, in order to be holistic, there has to be a way in which we can take it forward, and nothing can replace other than research, that is to make our teaching learning more experiential, extension. So through this platform, what we are going to be sharing practices of a higher educational institution in order to make education more collaborative, more experiential. There are a few objectives that we have inculcated in our functioning of. These objectives are academic excellence, character formation, and social concern. How do we achieve these academic excellence? As our autonomous institution, there is a lot of emphasis on the curriculum design. A curriculum that we design is very rigorous and challenging. So what you see, the way we move ahead in curriculum design is the faculty of the department, they come together, they do a lot of research on what would be an ideal curriculum for a program to be offered. They get the curriculum designed, and then they would send it to the experts for their kind of feedback. So once we get the feedback, those feedback are introduced into the curriculum, and then we convene a board of studies meeting. So board of studies meeting will have experts from various academic institutions. There'll be experts from the industry. There are alumni students. There are also faculty from various research institutes. So we present our curriculum before them, and thorough discussion is going to take place on our board of studies. And once they approve of, and all their points are going to be included in it, and that would be the curriculum that we're going to follow. In our curriculum, what we also look in the emerging issues and subjects of relevance. Now, they also would be introduced if in case we don't get to introduce them because of it might be heavier on the students. So these activities are also being carried out by various forums on the institution. Curriculum, but this curriculum has to be deliver to the students. Now, when you talk about the content delivery or the curriculum delivery, it's a very, very important aspect of higher education, and there has to be innovative ways in delivering the curriculum. And the methodology that we have followed, or the pedagogy that we follow, it's not one dictated to the department. Each department have given the freedom, the flexibility to innovate, invent the pedagogy that they want. What I'm highlighting here are a few of them, like the research-based pedagogy, the discussions and the presentation that they bring into the classrooms, the field work-based learning approach, sharing the audiovisuals of the eminent researchers to the students. TED Talks, we invite a lot of personalities who could inspire our students to the TED Talk. Students forum-based activities, and the end thing is the blended learning. So these are the ways through which we try to engage our students. We also have a component of research at the undergraduate level, also at the postgraduate level. Term paper is a research paper which students would start working from the beginning of the semester for the undergraduate students, and then the whatever work that they do, they kind of submit it in a form of a research findings by the end of the year. Okay, so the students are mentored by faculty for the same. At postgraduate level, dissertation is mandatory. In the fourth semester, all students go through this compulsory dissertation. They do in-house projects, or students also move out to reputed institutions to carry out the research work, which they are going to be submitting eventually in a form of dissertation. The Viva O's would be conducted. A 360-degree evaluation is also adopted for dissertation process. Students for whom dissertation is not compulsory or term paper is not compulsory, they have mandatory internship. Courses like commerce, economics, they all have internships mandatory. Education is not only classroom based. We also try to engage them in a lot of co-curricular and extracurricular activities. There are a lot of academic fests that we organize from the college. There are a lot of association activities that we kind of engage students in. Every department have an association, and they carry out a lot of activities in sync to the program that they have got admissions into. Students are exposed to organize various conferences, workshops, seminars. They're encouraged to take part also in all these conferences, workshops, and seminars. Study tours are being organized by the department to give an exposure to the on-site reality. A lot of literary and cultural events are also being organized by the institution and the departments. Mentoring. This is something very unique to our institution, mentoring. The students, the day they enter, day one, there is hand-holding process where the mentors are going to hand-hold them and take them to the entire process of, be it academic excellence, character formation, or societal exchange, the community exchange programs. They are going to be supervising them throughout. They are going to be studying them. They are going to mentor them in all aspects of their personal, academic, and professional growth. From semester 1 to semester 6, they are monitored. Not only we end the monitoring or mentoring there, we also map their progression as to where they have moved after they kind of graduate. The second two areas that I'm talking here about is what we kind of stress on is the character formation and the social concern. In order to inculcate in students, integral formation is very, very important. This is done through a program what is called as Igniters program. Now, this Igniters program we carry out right at the start of the academic year for all the 3 years of the graduation and undergraduate studies and 2 years of the postgraduate studies. The very objective of this Igniters program is to ignite young minds with a lot of creativity in them and also to think critically. We ignite the passion in them for constructive actions. We ignite in them the spirit to build build the social inclusivity. There's also a program which we made it mandatory for undergraduate students, the human resource development. Here, they go through self-awareness, they go through developing their personality, they connect better through these programs with their family, rid of the addictions if they all have, because a lot of those activity that would come in, we integrate them into the psycho-spiritual connection, also are conscientized about the interreligious tolerance, understanding, and very important again, we handheld them for their career guidance as well. A lot of initiatives are taken in order to preserve the environment, some of which, as you see here, we have a rooftop solar panel which produces 425 kilowatt of the current. Most of the labs that functions on our institutions, the power that we use is from what is being generated from the solar panel. 2017, we also received Power Award from the government of Karnataka for the same. We have rainwater harvesting facility, we have sewage treatment plant, biogas plant, we have recharge pits on the campus, paper, cycling, and very important again, for students to connect with the community, programs that are being organized, and one such program is St. Joseph's Outreach Program, which is one of the best practice which is going to be spoken about shortly. This is a glimpse of the green initiatives that we have it on the campus. As I said, we look into conservation, preservation, restoration of our resources. Okay, so we have solar panel, rainwater harvesting, and then also the sewage treatment plant, the biogas, the recharge pits, the paper recycling, and a lot of activities that is going to be from the outreach program, which is going to be presented shortly. I'll focus on to the two important best practices. A practice which gives commendable value to any of the higher education institution is, we call that as best practice. Now, two practices that we're going to be talking to you all about. The one is the Josephite Research Forum, and the second one is Bembala, the outreach program. The first here is a Josephite Research Forum. This is the content of my presentation about the Josephite Research Forum. Under this umbrella, we have two components. The research carried out by the students, we call it as the Student Research Forum. And then we have research that is being carried out by the faculty, which is Faculty Research Forum. The objectives of the Student Research Forum. Here it is, we try to provide the platform for them to come and discuss the issues related to science and humanity with a multidisciplinary approach, and they come with the proposals. Try to engage them in the undergraduate research right from the semester one, and which would culminate into a term paper as they kind of graduate. The objective of the research forum, Faculty Research Forum, is to strengthen and promote the faculty by funding research proposals. The college earmarks 50 lakhs every academic year as the seed money they would be granting for the faculty who want to start research. Policies have been framed by the research committee, and which would be in the pursuit of. And the other objective is we mentor faculty to write and procure major grants and to publish the research finding in the peer-reviewed journals. Why was there this innovation required? Most of the learning, it happens at a slow, like lecturing, reading, audiovisuals, and demonstration. All of these are of teaching where the retention is less. For a lecture, when I give it, the percent. When I make a student read, the retention is 10%. When I present or audiovisual with them, the retention is 20%. 30%. If I demonstrate a process to them, the retention is 30%. Now, this is most of it would happen at low level learning, but we want students to form themselves and help the society. We want them to engage themselves into a higher learning, where from the demonstration, we have to move towards to discuss various topics and issues, make them also practice what they kind of say, and also teach what they know to others. So these are the activities that we try our students to engage with, so that from the low level learning, we can take them to the high level learning, where there is holistic education that is going to be empowered for the students who come in. So hence, the context in which we thought of these two practices are from moving from the rote-based teaching for them to get engaged into the experiential learning and the research-based learning. And for the teachers who are engaged in teaching, for them to make their teaching skills more connected to that of the students, research is very, very mandatory. Research is going to enhance your teaching skills. You could get connected better with your peers and also with the students. So as there was a requirement of the research component, we have started this particular forum for the same. Not only research, also the work that they do to be published so that society at large can be benefited through publications. Let me share the practices of these two research forums, that is the Student Research Forum and the Faculty Research Forum. Now, this Student Research Forum was instituted in the year 2015. We got grants from DBT. Also, it was mandatory from the DBT that, has to be student research activities initiated. Okay, so we use that as kind of a stepping stone. We already had term paper in practice. Since the time we got autonomy, the term paper is in practice. Now, to make those term paper even more qualitative and very effective, so we merged this term paper as well as the activities of the research forum together, and we have a set of process that we kind of follow. So this particular forum, the Josephite Research Forum for students, we meet every twice a month. And during our meetings, the first meeting that we kind of organize, we appoint the office bearers. So here again, the leadership is going to be given to the students for them to kind of take the leadership and coordinate all the events. There is also going to be a student coordinator. So this faculty coordinator, and the student coordinator together, okay, and also representative members from different faculty, they come together and they are going to plan the academic activities for the year. And once they plan, then first activity what we plan would be call for students' research proposals. So we invite research proposals from the first year undergraduate students and the second year undergraduate students, because this is the work that they would carry out and then can be submitted also a term paper. So once we invite them, the students would work in collaboration with their peers, or it can also be individual project that they can do it. They go and meet concerned faculty members where their research ideas kind of meets. They talk to them about the research proposals, and once they kind of prepare the research proposals, they are going to come and present that research ideas to an interdisciplinary panel. So after which, the reviewing of these research proposals, the unique ideas are going to be funded, and money, if there is requirement, the seed money for those is going to be granted, and the department's laboratory facilities are going to be used for carrying out the student research. All the work is going to be carried out under the supervision of the faculty. Work kind of carry out, they are mentored to write it in a form of a research paper. And this research paper, they are going to be submitting by the end of the academic year, that is for the undergraduates as they graduate. Students are also mentored, whatever the research work that they have done, to present it at various conferences so that they get to know the reality as to what sort of work that's being carried out by the various other researchers, and also the critique that people are going to make it for the research that they have done will try to open up a lot of avenues for these students. Invited talks by experts from the reputed institutions are invited. Also, take part in presentations. So the uniqueness of this forum is the presentations are not only from the invited guest, students also pitch in and they start presenting the ideas that they have. The students start presenting on the topic of relevance, so that there is a lot of discussions and debate that can happen on the topics the students present. A lot of debates and discussions are being organized to this forum. Workshop on research proposal writing, scientific communication, and career guidance are also being organized for the students so that they know how to write a research proposal, how to carry out a research proposal. Once the work is done, how do they present the same as a scientific communication, and how do you connect whatever the undergraduate work that they do to move towards a post-graduation in the reputed institutions. The Faculty Research Forum, we have constituted a research committee. The research was in place, but an active research community, a committee was constituted in the year 1516. The committee meet as and when there is a requirement. The first meeting, we plan events that we need to carry out for the year. The committee invite research proposals twice every year. Now, these research proposals are for the faculty who have joined in. It could be new faculty who have just freshly joined. For them to get into the research culture, the seed money is being given to them. If they have done good amount of research in past, we encourage them to write the major projects. If they are just the new, they have just completed the PhD, if they have joined the department, the hand-holding of the faculty happens through this particular committee, where we brainstorm them, we mentor them to write research proposals. The detailed format of how to write a research proposal, what are the various format that we look into, what would be the format in which you need to be presenting, all of those details and the research policies have been made available on the college website. So faculty would go through that and then get their research proposals ready. Now, once they are ready with their applications, now they are going to start applying for the same. Now, we have a very good practice that once a faculty are ready with their proposals, they have to vet it by the senior researchers of the college. What would be looked into these research proposals? The quality, the relevance, the ethical considerations, the methodology, and what is the outcome of this. And if they have also completed it in the way, the format, the style in which they'll have to follow before the kind of submission. So these proposals, once they're submitted, they are being reviewed by a competent team, okay, which is composed of both faculty, the research faculty within the campus and also outside the campus. Once the research proposals have been reviewed and going to be provided with the seed grant money. Once the seed grant money is there, we look at the progress of the same. They are asked to present the work, whatever they have done, every 6 months. They would be submitting in writing whatever work that they have done. At the same time, they also present the work at the research colloquium. The college has a research colloquium, which all the faculty and the students are invited to the research colloquium, and the students are going to, the faculty who carry out the research will be presenting at the research colloquium. The final reports are submitted after the completion of the research project. Once the research project is done, these faculty are then inspired, mentored to write the major projects. Committee also organizes a lot of seminars for the faculty who wants students to get into the research, for them to teach how to write research proposals, how to effectively carry out research once the funds are generated, how to write and publish research articles in the peer-reviewed journals. College Research Committee also a college website with the list of UGC referee journals for publication so that they don't publish in other journals which are of not high quality. Also, we encourage them to publish in varied referee journals internationally. We also offer through this research committee, there is policy in place where faculty can go on sabbatical to complete their doctoral program. There is assistance to the faculty also given in terms of the leave, travel, and also other registration cost. So this is a process in which we carry out the research activities. Now, these are some of the practices or the flow in which we kind of organize ourselves. Now, when we have to check what is the success, what I'm presenting you, what you could see here in the slides are some of the topic the students have presented for the research forum, students research forum. Okay, there are also invited guests. This talks about the quality in which the students, go beyond from whatever the curriculum that they kind of learn. Evidence here to show that the engagement of the students here, the students' presentation, the group presentations or the individual presentations, the that kind of happens before they kind of submit it. Now, as they're carrying out the research, the student also try to present themselves at the conferences, as I said, but at the same within the campus also they try to present their work in the form of a poster or in the form of the oral presentations. There are a lot of seminars, as I said, are conducted for students, career in science workshop, or also for them how to write research proposals and all of that. The impact of this is like some of our students, once they have learned the art of writing proposals and all, they have gone and taken part in various activities. Kind of photograph where these students have got the best proposal award event that was organized by Manipal Institute of Regenerative Medicine. So there's just a kind of a glimpse. There are a lot of students who are actively involved in this particular forum. Now, coming to the financial assistance, where do the money to fund these students for the work that they kind of carry out? So as I also said, it was initiated from the DBT Star College scheme. So in the phase 1 grant, we got around 32 lakhs, and phase 2, we got around 96 lakhs, and the phase 3, we got around 104 lakhs. The 3 departments started initially this particular process: biotechnology, chemistry, and botany department. Now, from the first phase grant, there was money that was allocated, some 15 lakhs worth money from the non-recurring was allocated in order to purchase the basic equipment that is required for the undergraduate research. Also, from the recurring grant, the money that was that had been sponsored by the DPT, we used that money for the consumables and the other miscellaneous thing. And there is a lot of support from the management. The management has supported in setting up a central instrumentation facility for the student research. They have provided with the necessary space. They have got the infrastructure built, and the research work of these students are going to be carried out centrally at that lab. At the same time, all the departments that are engaged in the research activities, their regular lab facilities also would be explored by the students. What is the outcome of the students' research? We have provided a lot of platforms for the students to engage themselves into discussions and presentation. Students have used this platform to hone their presentation skills and the discussions. Students who go out for master's programs soon after they kind of graduate, when they have to present themselves with the research proposals, whatever they have done would become a kind of a basic, and on which they kind of developed themselves, and they have presented themselves in various reputed institute, be it kind of ICERs or ISCs and all of those, where they were appreciated about the kind of the research skills that they have presented. Okay, and not only that, also the way in which they have taken part in the interview sessions, whatever has happened was kind of commendable. The review is what we have got it from the students. The platform has attracted a lot of research proposals from the undergraduate students, because these ideas are being ignited right from the year that they join. That's the first year. That is, we bridge them from the 11th and the 12th that they kind of come in. So whatever the inquisitive, the spark that they come with, that is tapped right at the beginning, and that, we try to culminate into a good research proposal writing. Not only writing, they carry out, and they also kind of publish in some of the conferences. What they have learned, the students, is to adopt a more structured and organized approach to research. They know what research is. When we start, students come to us and just they kind of tell, sir, this is the research that I want to do, with very vague ideas. Okay, where not much of reading they would have done, just because the idea came in and they just come and then they kind of try to talk to us. But through this forum, we mentor them, so that whatever that thought that they have, the spark that they have, we try to kind of ignite it into kind of a more structured research proposal, and then they subsequently carry it out. And the work that they carry out, it is presented at the various seminars and the conferences. Again, a lot of learning that kind of happens through this. The very good thing that we have observed here is there is increase in student participating in the PG entrance exam. They got more aware about the various PG entrance examination available. They have taken part. They also have cleared with good scores there. And then we see that the students have progressed really well from the UG to PG, and they have got into a highly reputed university. So there are a lot of foreign universities in which our students have gone for their higher education. A lot of universities within the country that they have got into ICERs, ISCs, Baroda University, and many such university. The University of Otago, one of the reputed university. There are many such universities in which the students have gone for their master's program. Coming to the success that we have achieved through our research forums, I'm just sharing a few glimpses of a faculty presenting the work that they have carried out in the seed money that was granted to them. So it's not mandatory for all the faculty to be a part of this research colloquium, because these are scheduled in a time where also some other faculty might be engaged. All those who are free that particular point of time, they try to make it and interact with the people who kind of present, give them the critique of the work that they're kind of doing, so that they can also better their research objectives. The financial assistant for the seed money is from our management, from BJES. So as I said, 50 years is being earmarked every academic year, and for carrying out all the research activities. So in the year 18-19, 7 projects were funded. In the year 17-18, there were another 7 projects that were funded. In addition to that, we have been receiving a lot of grants. The college receives grants from the UGC. College have received grants from VGST and DST Fit. That grants was enough to empower or to improve the infrastructure of all the departments. So we have good research labs, and also the lab that we use for our regular practical. So that money was enough. And with that basic setup, there's also money that our senior researchers have got through DST projects, DBT projects, SRB project, where the college could come with a central instrumentation facility. So there are departments lab that are being used for the research. There are central instrumentation facility that are there that are being used for the research. There are also research labs that are there of each of the teachers. Okay, so all of these are the resources that they would make when they kind of carry out the research. To add on, every department have collaborations with other reputed institutes, be it like in Bangalore, we have a lot of contacts with ISC, NCBS, JNCSAR, NIMHANS, and all of those, where a faculty would send the research scholars to those places, the facilities that we don't have. We try to engage the research, getting the research work done through those collaborations that we have. We also have collaborations with the foreign universities like St. Louis University, Seattle University in USA, Namur University in Belgium. Okay, so these are the collaboration that we have through which we kind of carry out our research activities. The funding that we have received from the external funding agencies, so for the year 16-17, we received around 39 lakhs roughly. Then for 17-18, around 18 lakhs and odd. For 18-19, we received around 35 lakh and odd. Okay, so these are the various amount that we have received. What is the impact of the research that we do is here shown you the last 3 years, the number of publications that have been produced by our research faculty. Here are the publications that has come out from the seed money, also the research publication that have come out from the major grants that our faculty are engaged with. It's not only research that they carry out, the impact that you see here is from the citations that they have received. The citations is an indication of the quality research that is kind of happening. And as you see here, there is increase in the number of publications and also our citation index. Also, the impact, as I said earlier, that is our faculty who have done the projects or who have completed the projects, the seed money, they also have now in a position to get the major projects, and they have also achieved the same thing. So when we carry out a lot of these activities, yes, we do encounter a lot of problems, but yes, we also look at those problems and see how we can, come out of those problems. The problem the Student Research Forum faced is to create research interest from other students like arts and commerce. So here we wanted a multidisciplinary approach. When students invite other students, the apprehensions the students that they have is the science is little tough to kind of understand. So that was a problem that we faced initially. Now, what we have thought here is, as we have students coordinators, we are going to be appointing students coordinator from each of these fields, from humanities, from commerce. Okay, so that they are a part of this particular forum. And at the same time, the faculty from the arts and science are also included in the forum. The brainstorming will happen by these faculty to the student, so that now we can expand our research forum to all students of the campus. To add on, college also have registered for IIC, that is the Institution Innovative Council, and college again has earmarked another lakhs for innovation. So the work is in kind of progress, and we are now going to also engage the arts and the commerce students with the research and the innovation. So these forums are working in sync in order to make the research and education more to the society. We have also seen that funding for research involving expensive chemical, that is the amount that the chemicals, the students come with proposals which might include a lot of chemicals. Some of the chemicals might be very, very expensive. The amount that we have from the DBT grant and all might not be enough. So that became a kind of an issue. So some amount of discouragement some students might have had it in past because they could not do what they thought of. So now the department have also been requested to help the student carry out those research, those term paper, where whatever the chemicals that are there of the lab could also be used for the same, and on special request those chemicals can also be obtained from the department grants. The other complaint the students have is kind of lack of time, because we cater to so many students on the campus. We have roughly around more than 6,000 students, so we have diverse field, and getting them all on a common platform at a given time point was kind of very difficult. So now the plan here is again to have more such events on more than one day and at a different timings, so that most of them can also be present. And at the same time, in our college calendar events, if we can mark a particular time, say like we don't some of the days that we have a kind of a holiday, on those days that we can think of arranging these sort of meetings. Faculty research, faculty have been complaining about the time that they get to is not enough. That is, the task now these days is very much on new innovative ways that are coming up with the ICT enabled technology and all of that. So much time that gets kind of engaged in preparing for the class and then kind of delivering in the class. So they were constrained with some of the faculty that they cannot manage time for the research. So again, we are looking ways where looking at the research project that they have granted, the time allocation also can be given in the workload of whatever the faculty they have. The other important thing that the issue that we see is the faculty who join. Some of them might, the young faculty especially, the research skill might be less, or they are not very, up to the mark. So again, the initiative from the college research committee is that we there is going to be a mentoring that's going to be happen. A lot of seminars, workshops are going to be conducted in order to mentor them so that they can enhance their research quality. So these are some of the practices that I had shared initially, and the best practice for the Josephite Research Forum is what I have presented. So thank you for your patient hearing. Now I would hand over to my colleague, Dr. Alan Godfrey, for him to take over the St. Joseph's Outreach Center, Bambala. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wajid. A very good afternoon to everyone present here. I'm Dr. Godfrey, here to present on St. Joseph's Outreach Center, also called as Bembala. The word Bembala is a Kannada word. It means to support. It is an extension activity that we do through our college. St. Joseph's Outreach Center is based on the Ignatian pedagogy, which is based on 5 different phases here. The 5 phases are context, reflection, experience, action, and evaluation. So we base any of our pedagogies that we use in our institutions based on these 5 phases. And St. Joseph's Outreach Center is also one particular initiative where we try to integrate whatever we do in the classroom level to help somebody else who's in the society and in the vicinities around. Now, as a Jesuit institution, as a Catholic minority institution, we have always been influenced by the outside realities. Our educational experiences have always been in terms of understanding the societal dynamics and trying to help through collaborative action. The Jesuits globally are known for transformative education, and we look at reflective action. Given this particular context, St. Joseph's Outreach Center is one such initiative of our college where we try to help in terms of setting up the academic excellence of any particular student, in helping out in forming a character that can help the needy and the underprivileged sections of the society. The context on which we have based our experience here is over the years that we have, Jesuits have been continuously engaged in social action. Throughout the globe, if you had seen, a lot of times, time and then, periodically, Jesuits have been involved in social action. There are very good social action models in the Indian context as well, which have been created by the Jesuits. And in education as well, there has been a need always in integrating community services with education. This also paved way for an institutionalized way of catering to community services and extension activities. In the college level, it was also emphasized, and it was also realized that it is better to have community services and to be part of the academic curriculum, so that everyone gets to participate in these particular events. This eventually also gave way for Bembala and the St. Joseph's Outreach Center. The objectives of the outreach center are as follows. What we try to base our objectives is to make the students conscious, aware of the social realities in which they are expected to become agents of change. Also to enhance, we help them in being more creative and help them in bringing out innovative ideas, thereby to increase their problem solving capacity, thereby also creating solutions for societal problems. So the Joseph's Out caters to both the undergraduate and the postgraduate sections. All the 5 batches of our institution, the students in all these 5 batches are supposed to be a part of the outreach activities. At the undergraduate level, students are given 60 hours to do community service, and at the postgraduate level, it is based on 40 hours of community service. With regard to the resources that we have, there are 6 staff completely dedicated for center. They coordinate with different departments in the campus as outside the campus with different non-governmental organizations, with different government organizations, and help in catering to the community service. With regard to the infrastructure, in our institution, we have a dedicated outreach block. Apart from that, in the campsites, we also have 2 buildings. A very new building is also being constructed. With regard to the financial sources, our fundings completely comes from the Bangalore Jesuit Educational Society. Every year, about 35 lakh rupees is spent on outreach activities. The 60 hours of community service at the undergraduate level is divided based on 4 different tasks. The first task is to visit different charity homes and also visit different government schools. Apart from that, they also participate in 15 visits over traffic awareness. The second task is to engage themselves in a rural community exposure, and then they're based on that, they're supposed to submit their reports, and within their span of 3 years, they're supposed to participate at least in 5 different public rallies, comprising up to 60 hours. At the postgraduate level, the postgraduate students spend up to 40 hours in community service, and it is divided into taking tuition, vocational education as well at different poor income areas. The postgraduate students are also taken for a rural exposure. Apart from that, they have field reports to submit and participate in public rallies as well. Process of how this particular activity is based. Every class has a class mentor, and we have an outreach center where there's going to be an outreach coordinator. The class mentor, in coordination with the outreach coordinator, administers the activity. Students are divided into clusters of 30, and they are made into further subgroups of 5 in each group. In each of these groups, they are given a responsibility, they are divided responsibility, and the class mentor is going to be the overseer of the particular program. What are the different areas of work? What are different areas of work that we work upon? If you look at it here, we work with different populations as portrayed. They are the vulnerable section of the society, and we try to help them at every level possible. When it comes to working with senior citizens, we look at what are their concerns. Visit different institutions where they are placed. We try to help them in terms of associating them with government schemes. Like say, for example, the government of Karnataka has an old age pension of rupees 600 per month. We try to help the senior citizens in receiving these services. The students visit them, help them in collecting the forms from the social welfare board, and trying to make a connectivity between the senior citizens and social welfare board. When it comes for persons with disability, we try to help them in creating linkages, sometimes with different organizations such as the Association for Persons with Disability. It is a global organization where they help persons with disability in terms of vocational education and formal education. We also help persons with disability in terms of competencies that are needed, in terms of soft skills and life skills. Also, we educate them on their rights and entitlements, what are certain government provisions available, tap the resources and make use of that. Now, when it comes for working with women, in terms of women, our activities are more towards the rural women. we try to help in female education and increasing the literacy over the female population in a rural vicinity. We also try to help them by making linkages between different organizations in order to increase their livelihood opportunities. And a lot of awareness campaigns are created in terms of health, to do with maternal health, to do with better health conditions. Also, we try to help them in terms of understanding different linkages between the services that are provided. Like, say, for example, the ICDS, the Integrated Child Development Services. As the name suggests, many of them are highly unaware that in the societies they think it is going to be to do with the children, but it has a lot to do for pregnant women. It has to do for pubescent girls, as well as it has to do something for women who are lactating mothers as well. So we try to raise awareness about these provisions that are provided by the government. When it comes for children, we engage in terms of formal education, also in terms of non-formal education, evening tuition centers, creating health awareness, and trying to educate them on rights. This particular part on rights, I would like to stress, we try to help the children in understanding different rights. When we say child rights, it's a huge banner wherein we try to help them in terms of understanding child sexual abuses, what is a good touch and what is a bad touch. We try to help them on understanding sanitation and hygiene, what is to do with public health. When an endemic happens, how do you treat it? How do you take care? For example, 2018 and 19, we had a higher increase of cases in terms of dengue in Bangalore. So this is an endemic that is happening. How in these poor income areas, that is in the urban slums, the children can take care of looking at where the waters are stagnating and how they can eradicate such kind of menaces here. So these are some of the awareness that we try to create. We also try to work with the sexual minorities. Again, they are a discriminated and a vulnerable section of our society. There is a lot of sex-based and gender-based discrimination that happens to them. We try to create public rallies and sensitize the common population in terms of their rights, their livelihood, and we create educational opportunities for them through the outreach center. Apart from that, extensively as a center, we also work for the youth, be it urban or rural youth. We try to help them in terms of understanding their rights. We help them in terms of understanding various educational opportunities available for them. And to a certain extent, we also help them in terms of employment opportunities by making them more employable in terms of enhancing their skills. The activity is divided into two stages. For the undergraduate level, the first stage is going to be a preparatory stage. Now, in the preparatory stage, there are certain workshops that are created for the mentors. The mentors come from varied disciplines, and outreach is to the most to do with social service. So not many are acquainted of how to deal in these scenarios. So the mentors are arranged with separate workshops in understanding what is expected of them in administering the students. Then there are separate workshops for the students in understanding the socio-economic dynamics around the society. We talk about different sections of the society. We talk about street vendors whom they interact every day. They meet the BBMP workers or the sanitation and hygiene workers. What do they do? What is their livelihood? We try to raise concern by day-to-day observations that are happening so that they can make a connectivity over here. So invite various experts and for discussions and talks. Apart from that, we also show documentaries to them with which we make them understand better the problems around the society. Once this has been done, the students are mentally prepared to understand what is expected of them when they move into the society. Now, after that, they are made into clusters and subgroups where they are allotted with different responsibilities. Once the committees are set and the dynamics, the group dynamics have been influenced and established, then we move into the second phase of it. What's in the second phase? The second phase is called as the extension program. Now, this happens throughout the second, third, fourth, and fifth semester for the undergraduate, and the second and third semester for the postgraduate sections. These are activities where we try to help out in terms of the government schools, working in poor income areas or the urban slums, helping out with construction laborers in understanding what are their rights and entitlements. The government of India has brought in a very wonderful policy for the construction laborers. There are certain provisions that are being provided. Are they receiving it? Do they have a job card? Do they have the entitlements as given by the Act? These are some of the areas that they try to help. Apart from that, work in collaboration with the Bangalore Traffic Police in helping out in traffic signals. As many would be knowing, Bangalore is a cosmopolitan city where traffic is something that is always drives everyone crazy. So this is one particular place where our students help out in terms of facilitating the process along with the traffic inspectors. We also visit different charity institutions, and we also look into different institutions for palliative care. Say, for example, Kitvai, for that matter, Snehadan. Snehadan is one particular institution that looks at HIV-infected patients. Kitvai is one particular institution where we have a lot of children who are at their final stages in cancer. Apart from this, we also administer and a lot of rallies. We conduct flash mobs, and we bring out our students' cultural expertise as well in terms of street theaters. And at the last, we also take them for rural exposure. Some of the pictures with captions are presented here. As you could see, this is one particular activity where the traffic drives are being conducted in collaboration with the Bangalore Traffic Police Department. These are a list of traffic junctions where we see that they are also administered in 10 different signals, and we try to help the facilitation over the commutation. And in these signals, what our students do is they not just help the traffic inspector in terms of making the crowd control. Rather, they also help in terms of taking that 60 seconds or taking that 120 seconds in educating on various issues such as the environmental conservation, like ecology, ecological preservation, talking about traffic rules like wearing seat belts or wearing a helmet, pillion riders to wear helmets, and they also look into other aspects of the environment like go green initiatives such as making use of an electric vehicle, saving water, and also organ donation. So some of these campaigns are also done on that 120 seconds or 60 seconds that is being provided for them. This was one such initiative where in the traffic signals, our students were also talking about reduction of noise pollution, why it is important to honk less and then to make more safe the commuting. Now, this is an amalgamation of different programs that in the recent years. As you could see, a lot of awareness campaigns are conducted by our students through the outreach center. And a lot of visits also are done, home visits, and a lot of institutional visits are also being taken care. One such initiative was the seed box program. It was again something to do with afforestation in the urban vicinities, where activity where the students are supposed to make clay balls with a seed embedded in it. Each one takes a particular seed ball. Wherever they move around in the fringes of Bangalore city, they go and they plant them so that a tree grows out of it. And the other picture is about the urban slum visits where they interact with children, they interact with women, they educate them on various rights and awareness, creation over health. Visits, the different visits are being arranged as part of the outreach activities. Some of the institutions that we visit are listed here. Home of Hope is an institution that caters to palliative care, especially for the homeless population. And a lot of men and women are put up in this institution where our students visit them, they have interaction with them, and they also make programs for them. We have the Home for the Aged at Noor, where senior citizens are being catered. There's a children's home at Kothnur that we visit, and very much next to our campus, we have the Nightingales for senior citizens, the Little Sisters of the Poor, again for the senior citizens, Kidwa Cancer Hospital for palliative care for cancer patients, Snehadan for HIV-infected population. These are some of the government schools. Bangalore is the urban part of the urban construct of Bengaluru is divided into 5 different educational zones. So the outreach center works in collaboration with the block education officers, all these 5 different block educational officers. We visit these corporation schools and we educate our students over there. For the adolescent children, we try to help them in understanding different dynamics. Say, for example, adolescence is one particular stage where you have a lot of hormonal changes happening. So we try to help them understand what are the hormonal changes that are happening, what are the physical changes that are happening, how do you approach it, how to reduce their anxiety on that. And we also teach them on various life skills, such as coping up with stress, coping up with emotions during our sessions. For children, we specially train them on human rights education. We talk to them about gender discrimination. We talk to them about caste discrimination. We talk to them about equal payment. We talk to them about different scenarios where the children can relate themselves at a younger level so that when they proceed to the higher education levels, they understand very clearly what they are entitled for. This again is a programs that were created. One is an annual campaign that we have for raising an awareness and consciousness in the society about HIV infected population. There has been a greater stigma disease, and we try to reduce the stigma through this annual awareness campaign. The other picture, as you could see, is planting of saplings at the Bannerghatta Zoological Park. This again is one of the initiatives that we took from our center, which was in collaboration with the ITC paper recycle unit. Waste paper in our institution, and then we sent it for recycling. Based on the recycling, we had created 1,800 notebooks, which were distributed in the urban slums for the children to make use of. The picture on the right is the notebook, and as you could see, by this particular action, we have saved 85 trees, and about 3,867 kilograms of paper was recycled. This some of the clippings of our programs that have been put on the newspaper. And 2019, at the beginning of 2019, the Bangalore Mahanagara Palike, that is the Bangalore Corporation, it brought inside a particular rule that in any commercial area, they're not supposed to bring in plastic carry bags. So our students went inside creating awareness about using paper bags and making use of recyclable plastic so that the amount of plastic usage is being reduced, which came on the newspaper. Camp is a very important aspect of our Bembala project. What we do is we take our students at the undergraduate level, we take them to at the postgraduate level, we take them to rural parts of northern Karnataka. Two of the villages where we visit is Sindagi and Manvi. The students who are being taken over there, they're made into different subgroups. In each of these groups, there will be a Kannada speaking person so that they can facilitate the particular process. Now, St. Joseph's College, for that matter, we should know that it is a multicultural society that we have. Our students come from different parts of the world and different parts of the country. There are refugees who come from Tibet. There are refugees from Afghanistan. There are students who come from Nepal. And we have a lot of students who come from the Northeast and from different states of our country. Given this particular scenario, not all are aware of how a rural vicinity is, or at least how rural Karnataka is. So through this particular project, we try to help them understand this scenario in terms of allocating different activities for them in the villages. They are stationed over there for 4 days where they also do the following activities. Shramdan is one particular activity where they plant trees and they also till the areas. If there are open pits available, they close them and they clean the surroundings. There is also interactions and home visits that happens around. They give a lot of awareness programs. Interreligious prayers and programs are conducted, and talks by the social experts are also being conducted. Now, if you look at it, how Bembala is trying to relate to what a Jesuit, a Catholic minority institution we believe upon. As you could see on the vision, the objectives of our college, something that has been very commonly spoken about is the preferential option for the poor and the concern for the marginalized. Through all these 3 years of their undergraduate or the 2 years of their postgraduate, our students are made sure that they interact with different communities, such as the domestic workers and the Paura Karmikas. One of the rally that they conducted in 2018 also resulted in a phase where the BBMP took up the consideration over a report that was presented through the rally, and a wage increase was being considered for the Paura Karmikas. The Paura Karmikas are the sanitation workers of the Bengaluru Corporation. We also work with the Dalit communities in the rural villages, LGBT rights and gender equality. We work with tribal populations such as the Siddhi, such as the Lamanis who are in northern parts of Karnataka, and we also try to work for the senior citizens. We base our success based on how the reflection of our students have been. We've seen that, a lot of, once they come back, they speak about this transformative action. And since this is a continuing process where every week there are activities allotted for different student population, it becomes more sustainable, which was the main motive with which we started this particular initiative. And there is immediate and timely feedback that is being provided, which has enhanced positive results for the students and teachers. Some of the programs that have been conducted is presented here in the form of a graph. Just to put it in a nutshell, the blue color represents the activities that were conducted in 2017 to 18. The red color represents 18 to 19, and the green color is the latest. So if you look at it in the year 2019 to 20, through the Outreach Center, we have conducted 53 programs, and a greater beneficiaries have benefited out of it. Now, and if initiative like this cannot be quantitatively recorded, so what we do is we have a qualitative recording that is being provided. This is a cover page of the record that every student receives. Any student who's doing an outreach activity bases their activity and records it in this particular record. These are some of the testimonials, some kind of verbatim or a case narrative that has been written by the students that we have put. Speaks more about how the students feel positively associated in terms of the outreach activities. Some of the challenges that we face initially: reluctance from the parents. Parents have always been reluctant in understanding what exactly is this outreach activity. The students are sent for an education. How exactly do they base the activity? And also they had a particular reluctance in terms of sending their students to rural vicinities, staying for 4 days, 5 days, how it is going to be, what type of accommodation. That we had to address it, and given the point of time, it has been very effective that they're very happy about the feedback that they received through their boards. Second was the apprehension from the students. They're already put up with different works and activities and doing an extra work in the outside vicinity, how to go and interact in the community, how to build a rapport in the community. There have been few apprehensions which we have trained them, time in them, and we have nullified. Getting permission from the government officials has been a Herculean task, time and then. This we are trying to address. And the workload for the teachers initially was a trouble. Later, with the increase of 5 additional staffs at the outreach center, we have also worked on this particular issue. In the last time, and then sometimes we have certain glitches in the logistic arrangements, which is also a problem that we face. Throughout this particular process, to summarize and put it in a nutshell, what we tried presenting is that, our educational experience is not only a rote learning experience. Our educational experience is not just in order to, make them equipped to be more employable. The educational scenario that we try to portray for our students is not just to develop themselves, but also develop them through a scientific approach by the usage of research, also develop them in a systematic approach by enhancing their skills at different phases of their curriculum, by also helping out in terms of extension activities. We try to base them on different extension activities, which holistically tries to help in aiding for the vulnerable sections in the community. This again puts in fact the vision, mission, and the objectives of our institution, how we raise our students to be more socially concerned, to be good in character, as well as academically excellent. With this, we conclude our presentation and we open the floor for discussion. Thank you.
Okay. Kavadi sir, namaste.
Yeah, namaste. Amay Kumarji is there?
Am I sir? Am I sir?
Yes.
Okay. Sir is there. Okay.
Yes, Devendraji, yes, बताओ.
Okay.
So nice of you. So we can start the question and answer session. In between, we can proceed with the discussion also. If you find anybody there, raise the hand, then we can proceed.
Yes, on the left. Yeah. Yes.
Ramesh, would you like to ask anything? Ramesh Kumar, we have unmuted you. Ramesh Kumar. Ajraf 49. Ajraf 49. Ajraf 49. Kalpana Singh.
Hello.
Kalpana Singh.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Kalpana Singh. I just want to ask a question, sir, that it was a very good presentation knowing all these things. But looking at the scenario which we are going through right now in this post-COVID era, how do you suggest that we can do a lot for society? Because all these things, they require some type of interaction with the society. So how do you present all these things? Thanks.
Thank you for that question, ma'am. In this particular time of pandemic, we know that most of us are home-based. Our works are home-based, but we can also see that there is an increase of violence that is happening, especially in terms of domestic violences. There are a number of cases that are being recorded. Look at it. The records have increased after the curfew or the lockdown was being imposed. So there are challenges where we can try to sensitize the populations about domestic violence. I can give you an example of one such initiative where through a particular organization where we worked. It is called honk. Honk when you hear the noise. So what they do exactly is when there's a household and there's some kind of violence that is happening and you hear the noise about it, immediately you press the bell such that somebody comes to open and then you intervene inside. This was one of the initiatives where our students participated. Apart from that, we also see that the mental health aspect of the community is a greater challenge now. Even take the student community for that matter, what we as social workers and faculties, time and then we have been engaging, apart from regular teaching hours that we do online classes, we keep engaging time and then, to just like that, to make them feel more peppy about what is and how positively to associate themselves. So mental health is one particular area where just talking to different people can help them to, relax their mind. People have this particular fear and anxiety of what will happen to my future. So our students, if they are trained a bit on certain first aid mental health services, then with that training, the students can also be associated in helping out in terms of mental health services. The third aspect that I would like to suggest would be, I think now every state government is coming up with different telemedicine and telecounseling activities. Like Karnataka government has initiated already a telemedicine and a telecounseling experience. Our students are associated with the Department of Ayush. They make calls to people who have symptoms of corona. They make calls to them to find out how is their health, and they also give them certain precautions and how they're supposed to take care of them. So these are some of the ways in which we still can contribute to the society.
Yes, thank you. Ravi, and do you have anything to ask, Ravi? Ravi, do you have anything to ask?
Sir.
Yes, Ravi. Yes, Ravi. Yes, Ravi, I am
Running. Yeah, I am Ravi from Tamil Nadu. Sir, how can get the research fund from various agencies, sir? Can you?
Hello. So I thought, let it be there,
Ravi's question is, how can you get funds from funding agency?
So what you need to do, you need to go to their website, say for example UGC, go to their website, and any of the funding agency, they keep announcing about the funding, what time point they are going to be funding the research proposals. So once you go there, once you get to know that, what you need to be doing is get your proposals ready. They would have given you also the format in which you will have to be applying for the same, and then get all the thing ready, and then you'll have to apply for the proposals. So you have fundings that you can get it from UGC, you can get it from DBT, you can get it from serve, and depending on the discipline. For humanities also, there are a lot of other funding agencies. Okay, so you need to know what sort of research that you're carrying, which of the funding agency would cater to that particular topic of your interest that you have, the research topic that you have, and accordingly you need to be applying, sir, for the same thing.
Yes, over to Dr. Devendra Kavade. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, sir. Okay.
I hope all the chart questions are cleared.
Okay, so nice. So there is no raise hand.
No, in the chart questions, no, there is why it is forced to undertake thing. No, I don't think there is.
Okay, then I have a question. It's something what I have experience of by seeing this presentation. It was a nice one. Friends, actually, this is a very old institution, what I found, and the way you people are doing the job is really praiseworthy. That outreach activities, research projects, awareness programs. I was very much willing to know about the alumni because it's a very old one. So, what about your alumni contribution for the upliftment of your students? Means how the students are benefited by alumni contribution? Can you please elaborate?
Okay. We have got wonderful alumni association, which is the globe. We have got various chapters of the alumni, and we have once a year alumni gathering. To tell you, the alumni contributes quite a lot towards the project of the poor students here. First of all, here for the poor students, we give scholarships, and quite many alumni. Secondly, every day, over 700 students get contributed mainly by the alumni. So even other infrastructure projects funded by the Alumni Association. Therefore, we are proud of our alumni who supports this cause of education in our country.
That's nice, sir.
There is one question in Kavade. Can I read this question?
Yes, please. In between, I will keep on asking.
Sir, the question in chart is why research is given so importance in higher education? If the student is interested in working as accountant, and if teacher has more interest in taking classes, research has less importance in both cases. Then why it is forced to undertake? This is a chart question.
Okay. Would you like to? Please answer, sir. No problem.
Yes. Okay. So research, yes, it's mandatory. So as I also pointed out in my presentation, as have to be very effective in my teaching, research component is very important. But for a student who kind of getting graduated out of a portal, for him to go and even as you pointed out, accountant job. Now, if you don't know as to how you would kind of do even that account, you have to do some amount of sort of comparisons. Get the data from one particular firm, the other firm, and all of that. You sit and you collate it. You study the comparative analysis and all of that. So with that, you give your sort of an interpretation as to what exactly you did. When you say research, not necessarily it has to be a very exhaustive one. So every student, when I say a research, I could do, I have a thought in mind, and what is that thought? How do I answer that thought? To get an answer to that thought, I compose myself, make my thought very clear. How do I attain? I carry out a procedure, a process, and then I start working on it. When I work on it, I get the data, I get the interpretation. That is in a simple way to tell what research is. So we don't make research mandatory for the students. Research gets part and parcel of the education process on its own. So when I say mandatory term paper, it's a mandatory to what level the student would do. It's up to the student to carry out the research. And for students like accountancy, the example that you gave, the commerce, for them, we have not made term paper compulsory, keeping in mind what sort of course they are in and what is outcome through the program that we offer, and where would they be going there? So we have internship for those students. For a student who have to do accounts and all, we would send them to the industries or the institutes or any other firms there, and they do a sort of a work there and then get their skills enhanced. So the outcome here is make them more kind of skilled and knowledgeable when they go out of the institution with compassion in heart, so that they can, help the society at large. Father also has something to add on.
The motto of Jesuit education is educating the whole person for life. Now we have got two aims here. One is education for living and education for life. Education, that means jobs, is only the minor one of the outcomes of education. But whereas education is more important. When the students leave our portals, we call them educated. Education should reach their life. And therefore, we are creating, or rather we are producing creative thinkers. And creative thinkers means research is very much part of our life. Even for an accountant, even for a teacher in the classroom, creativity and research is very, very part of one's life. Therefore, we insist here that education is for life.
Well said, sir. Well said. Education for life and creative thinkers you are creating. That's very nice. Any other queries there, Amay Kumarji?
Ask questions regarding the identification of the. I'd like to ask a question regarding the identification of the community-specific problems. What are the community-specific problems?
It depends on different communities. First of all,
Exactly.
The broader classification is going to be urban and rural and
Yes.
tribal again in the Indian scenario. Then there also, if you look at it, it's going to even more be worried because there are children, so they form another community by themselves. There are women, there are senior citizens, there are men, there are youth, there are adolescents. So there are communities. And in the Indian scenario, if you look at it, it is all based on the geography. So I cannot present an exhaustive profile of it, but it is community specific.
Yeah, there are a lot of problems in society, community. That do you have facilities for faculty to do their postdoctorate? These are questions I'm reading.
Yes, we have senior seasoned faculty who get a lot of project proposals to the institution, and there are also openings for the postdoctoral facility to cater. So we have 4 departments at present. So chemistry department, a very old department who does a lot of active research. Then you have botany department, then you have chemistry and physics departments to begin with. The other departments are in the process of getting registered under Bangalore University to carry forward the research. At the same time, we have also now the RUSA coming in. So hoping that, we move from this particular status of autonomous to that of the university where, we can further take it longer.
Yeah. Next question is code of conduct of institution. Can you explain the code of conduct? What is the code of conduct you follow for your institutions? For the faculty members, for the non-teaching staff, for the principals, for everyone. What is the code of conduct?
Yes, when a staff is employed in our institution, management has passed a service rules and conditions book, and in which all the service conditions rules from the day one they join till they retire, even post-retire is given there. So each category and each profession is mentioned there, and code of conduct is clearly mentioned, and it is implemented and practiced.
Yes. Another question is, how are you balancing the emotional balance of your faculty members and students as progressing in research during this pandemic academic lockdown? Balancing emotional balance of faculty members, students, and progressing in research during this.
Yes, sir. So all of us are connected, though there is this pandemic, all of us are The management is connected to faculty. We already have started classes for the students, the online classes. So the second years, the final years of undergraduate, the final years of the postgraduate, we already have started classes. So even when the lockdown started hitting us, all mentors were connected with the students. Okay, so every now and then they used to have regular sort of meetings over Zoom and all of that, and to try and check with if they have any sort of issues and all. One good thing that we have is like our Jesuit connectors all over the country and all over the world. So even students who were there in different parts of the country, they were connected when they had issues of even like their for their livelihood and all. So we could connect directly with them. In even we have supported for their kind of basic thing. At the same time, also social well-being we have checked through our whatever connect that we have to the parents. And college is very very flexible when it comes for the faculty engagement. So we are now carrying out our classes online and all of that. They have really understood our requirements and catered to our kind of needs. We have understood requirements of the students. We have what we have done. A good thing here is we have sheet to the students. We have sent the Google Sheets to the faculty to know as to what are the resources that are available where they can engage with the online classroom. They have phones, whether they have internet connectivity, whether they have laptops. All that data we have gathered from them, and then after which we have thought of how do we go about this online education. A lot of webinars were conducted for faculty for them to adapt new pedagogy over online. How do we go about and all of that? Okay, so we never felt that we were distant. All of still together for whatever that is kind of happening.
Yeah. The next question is, sir, is it mandatory to complete outreach program to complete a UG or PG degree? The students need to earn for it. Have you included this in the program schedule of UG and PG degree? There are three questions, related questions.
Okay.
You can read from chart also. You can read from chart also. The chart question. Yes.
It's on the chat. Is it? Okay. Anyway, to answer the question,
Okay.
can I stop my presentation sharing?
Yeah, better you unsharing, sir.
You can
Stop sharing.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. To answer the question, yes, it is a mandate it is a course requirement, and it's a mandate for all the students who are enrolling on the undergraduate and postgraduate programs to finish outreach activity. They are given 3 years time and 2 years time to complete this particular activity. So when they move in class, especially as groups, when they move, they facilitate among each other. So it's not been a hassling experience. Rather, students are able to complete it on time. And it is a flexible program also. Like say, for example, one class is asked to organize this week, and maybe there are 3 students who were sick, so they were not able to be part of their activity with their own class. Next week, another batch would be organizing for their class. These people can plan along with them, and they can join with them, and they can do it. So the program is more flexible, but it is a mandate for us to participate.
Okay. Varsha Kulkarni has asked a question. How are you dealing with slow learners? Because research may be interest of advanced learners.
Okay. So the slow learners, as I said, we have a pedagogy. So when we start our classes, we do a sort of diagnostic assessment. With the diagnostic assessment, we the mediocre ones and who are a kind of the learners who are kind of gifted. So here the pedagogy is we try to kind of motivate accordingly for those slow learner. There is also this mentoring that I said. So these students, they try to keep a kind of connect with the students as to as we get the data from the assessments and all, we get to know as to whom on whom should we be working. So there are remedial classes that are being conducted for those students. There is also peer group learning that kind of happens. We identify students who are good at a little concept, so we get them into sort of a group and make these students to help them with the same thing. And also because it's a collaborative learning, a slow learner, when you put it along with students who are good at kind of grasping things, so they try to educate them. So as I said, in our higher, pyramid of learning, so teaching is something which is very effective. So these learners who are gifted learners would also teach the others, and it's a collaborative effort that they kind of do it. So and as I also pointed out, the remedial classes are also in kind of practice. So a strong mentoring is in place, so the teachers are going to be helping them with the same thing. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Another question is, what is the importance, state the importance of MOU and industry institute collaborations? Of course, you need to reflect as far as institute is concerned.
So could you mention, sir?
MOU and institute industry institute collaboration. Importance. They are asking the general questions. What is the importance of MOU and institute collaborations?
Importance, as I said sometime back, that we have certain facilities, we can carry out the research, and it becomes a constraint when I have an objective a little beyond. I don't have the facility, I have to carry out that facility, then I look for other research institutes. So when we have collaboration, the job becomes easier, so that I can go to them and carry out my research because I'm getting facilities there. So it can be a research institute, it could also be a industry. So, and when we have research collaborations where our students who go for their project works, they do there, and collaboratively there are also research publications that have come out, the student, the collaborators, and we as St. Joseph's College, that has culminated into the institute and academy. Yes, there are a lot of sponsors that also would come from the industry to carry out research on the areas that they would want a sort of the work that has to be done. So we have also hospitals like Narayana Rudhyalaya, they came forward to collaborate with us. We have postgraduate students of botany and chemistry and microbiology. They do a lot of work on therapeutics and all of that. So they have cancer research. So the collaborative learning where they want resources, they want talent, they have all the other resources available. So this amalgamation happens when you have such kind of tie-ups between the institutes or with that of the industry.
Yeah,
and we also have collaborations with the foreign universities, as I mentioned.
Okay. Thank you. How is research introduced to you students? Is there a paper in each semester or only in the final semester?
The other good concept that we have here is this paper. It is not necessarily, it has to be specific to the subject the student is in. So we have this sort of choice based, we have this sort of flexibility in students picking up the research topic. A student of humanities can pick a topic from natural sciences or the physical sciences. A student from natural science can pick a topic from the other students. What students have to be doing when they join, there is a lot of, when I say orientation programs, this is another one thing that we do. The year the students come in, every year we have orientation programs. We orient students, telling that what exactly is term paper, okay, who all you can approach for you to get guided for the term paper. So once a student comes, a student who is from, say, science background, have a little interest do something on commerce related or humanities related, the student has the freedom or flexibility to go and approach those teachers and get it registered under them, and they together can come out with a sort of a proposal prepared and can be executed again. So that's how the research, and it's going to be just one term paper for the entire program of undergraduation. It can be anywhere, and it is outside the college hours is what you're going to be doing. So students, they're going to be free between semesters. They go like, it could be from like odd to even semester. Those somewhere they get the holidays between November roughly, then they get holidays between say April, May. So they make use of this particular time very effectively and then carry out the research. Even they do it in the evenings whenever they're free. Our labs are open for them to come and kind of do the work that they want. So they just have to do one term paper, which starts in the first semester, where the conception of the idea and all, and then they can carry out till they are in the 5th semester. So in the 5th semester, they are going to be submitting the project work or the term paper work that they have.
Yeah, thank you. Dr. Bhuvaneshwari has asked a question. Is the general model for the Catholic institutions to have outreach program as mandatory to complete degree programs? I'm sure all of you should practice outreach program. If there is any specific I request, panelists to answer if there is any specific. But I think all should practice this outreach programs for the benefit of everyone of the country. If you have anything specific, you can answer, sir.
So if I've understood the question, if I'm not wrong, are they saying that it is common for a Catholic institution to follow outreach activities?
Yes.
What makes us unique?
Yes.
Okay, fine. The kind of communities we visit is what makes it a basic difference. Given for that example, I'll tell you, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh and certain parts of Orissa are still some of the states in our country who still follow Devdasi system. Though each of these state governments have a particular ban about it, the central government also by 1980s itself they brought a ban about it. Still, it is an evil practice that is continuing. So our students approach them. Our students also make some livelihood opportunities for them, and they try to create, which is a unique experience. And to say by outreach activities, our students identify children over there who are having greater potential. Some of their children of Devdasis are also studying with us here in St. Joseph's campus. So this is a unique practice that I about this. Apart from that, we are doing a lot of environment conservation as well. Trying to Bangalore, for that matter, was known for its lakes and trees. Off late, because of developmental projects that are coming up, little by little, we are losing our flora and fauna of our city. So our students also work in aspects like this, which may not be unique to every Catholic institution in the country.
So I have something more to add on here. Now, this extension activities, now we are further expanding it. So as our theme is like engaging minds. So in order to engage students, also subject related, say a student who has come up, who's studying, say I'm from microbiology department, so has come studying microbiology here, to engage them, to know them what is the reality outside the pandemic which is spreading, for example, now. And we send them to or we as faculty and students would go and analyze certain areas. What are the issues there? You could come back again, analyze those, and what solutions can we offer as students and faculty. That is also being kind of done, department specific outreach programs. So I, as a microbiologist, can go to a particular place where there is a lot of infections being spread. I can do a survey as to why these diseases are being spread. What is the environment around? What is adding on to these infections? So that is again a research that students can be engaged with. So like that, each department specific outreach programs also can be planned and executed. That's our next step of engagement.
Yes.
We students for society. That means they should know society outside. Otherwise, only institutionalize them and send them out to society, only become misfit. Therefore, with the community, the needs of the community, and how these so-called intellectuals can solve their problems and thus bring in a better society, a better country.
Good, sir. So next, Aruna has asked a question: how to get seed money by private colleges, purely management, or any grant given by university?
No, university doesn't give. These funding agencies like UGC, DBT, DST, they do give. But mainly, as I told you, the management provides through management sources. For example, as I told you, the alumni connections, certain industrialists, like that, the people, just like the universities across the world function based on the interface, so we function here.
Okay, thank you, sir. Then Banu has asked a question: how are you connecting to the students who don't have internet connection or computers with them? This is something. Whether you have any specific techniques to connect to the students if somebody doesn't have internet connectivity, maybe from a rural backgrounds or maybe from a very remote place of the, Karnataka? And are you connecting those students for this
Yes.
online classes, virtual, and all that?
Before we started these classes, we Google Sheet to know which other students have what facilities. And we found that 15 to 20% of our students, okay, have problems with internet. All of them have mobile phones they have got internet package. In that way, we ask their consent, they recommend it to us, and we in fact support them also. Suppose they have certain package and all that. Thus, we have contact with them, and we provide support to them. And after this study, only we have started these classes with the consent of the students.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
would also like to add to what my principal spoke about. You see, something through the Google form that we found out is people have smartphone these days. So the app that we use is Microsoft Teams, which is also readily downloadable on the smartphones. One. The second is reduced. They don't spend 7 hours a day doing complete classes. Instead, they'll be having 3 to 4 hours of class, which might result up to 2 GB of data. So that particular package they use. And the third thing to add on is that we don't say that it is mandate for everyone to participate. If the student has any concern, that particular, like a lot of students from Kerala who are studying with us, because of their monsoon season, they were having network issues. Some days, 2 days or 3 days, they do not have power in their villages. So they inform us time well in advance. So we make a note of it. We record the session so that whenever they have time and the data, they can view those classrooms, make notes of it, and report it back to the teacher. In a way, the attendance is also catered. At the same time, the objective of learning is also being achieved.
Yes, wonderful. See, something like extension activities, whether the students get extra credits and research work, what they do, whether they get extra credits for this, the extension kind of research they do, whether they get extra credit for this.
The program, when they come in, whether it's a UG program or a PG program, the required number of credits that are required, all of these are spread across the activities that they are engaged with. So there is a lot of incentivization they get in the terms of also credits. So I take part in any outreach activity. Yes, there are a few credits also associated with that. So for HRD, yes, there are a few credits that are associated with that. So any of the extracurricular activity that they do, there are also credits associated with that. So that's a good thing that we do when the students come. We orient them that these are the total number of credits. This is how you can earn those credits, and keep track of how they can earn the credits. So it is also credit based.
Yeah, this is to NAAC actually. My colleague, either Dev or others can answer. In which criteria of NAAC do we need to mention about student research activities? Student research.
Criteria,
yeah.
Criteria 3, there is no student research mentioned. Criteria 3, research applications and extensions.
Okay. This is Prithvi asked a questions on audit of college. Like what way you do the green audit? Give some the green audit you conduct in your college.
We have the environment science department of our college who takes care of this particular green audit. In fact, they were the ones who also suggested us, when the cases were increasing in terms of dengue, they were the ones who also suggested us how to reduce water stagnation. And there are also places where we have introduced this guppies fish and all. So it was through the zoology department and the recommendation from environment science department that we ensured this particular activity to reduce the menace of dengue. Apart from that, they also involved in green audits time and then issues, and they educate us also. Like our canteen, we have reduced plastic PET bottles. So if you attend any of our programs, we don't use plastic PET bottles, and we have also stopped all carbonated drinks. These are all some of the initiatives that we have taken.
Other questions are just specific, whether you are PhD students or you zoology. I think that you can go to the website of the college to get detailed information. I mean,
Yes.
definitely there are a
Amay
lot
sir,
of
there is one question
Yes.
from Shweta Jha. How do you manage timetable for PG students for extension activities and UG students for research internship, as they already very much hectic schedule in CBCS system, having so many assignments to complete? So just about the time management they are asking. Anything you would like to add, Sayed?
Yeah.
Okay. So as I started with telling that, the curriculum has to be rigorous. So when we say curriculum has to be rigorous and kind of challenging. So these activities, yes, of course, they are going to be challenging. They are going to be rigorous. At the same time, if you have we also try to engage students with a lot of these igniters program and the HRD programs. So through that, we try to also tell them as to how you can manage your time effectively, efficiently, and also a lot of these soft skill training is also going to be given. And at the same time, it is not very. I have seen students, we have experienced students, a student just recently who got into University of Otago was so very involved in all of the process, never complained about any such things. The year one, yes, being very regular to the academic activities. Semester break that they get, I said, between like your April, May that you get, the student was actively involved in an internship. At the same time, during the same period, the student started working on a research proposal, contacted a research guide, and started working on the same thing. And when they got this second year free time between the semester, carry out the research work, and then they kind of presented. Clear? So we have balanced it in such a way that there is no issue with the overlapping or all these. For the UG, again, first semester they come with, and in the free time, whenever they are the time is available for them, they kind of carry out the research there.
Yeah. Thank you.
And
Thank you,
since
Said.
2005, we are following this. We have never faced that sort of an issue.
There are a lot of appreciations I could see for the college, the work they have conducted. They're running out of time, of course. Over to Dr. Kavde. Over to Dr.
Yeah,
Kavde.
yeah. Thank you, Amay Kumarji, for nicely coordinating the question answer session. I have two queries by hearing, and I am very much anxious to listen from you, good people. All you three are answering nicely all the queries. And of course, it's related because again, I say yours is an old institution with lots of achievement, and it's a big, and if it is an achievement is there, it brings lots of authority with lots of responsibility, and of course accountability. So I want to know how your institution is beneficial immediately to the society with the present condition which is popping up in our economy, as though the economy is going down, will be down by 5%. There are 15 crores, 15 to 20 crore migrant workers moving, and research creativity is a need of the hour. Employment ratio is all time down. How your institution, which has lots of achievement, do you think will contribute? Please.
First of all, when the lockdown was imposed in Karnataka and the country, St. Joseph's College is the first institution in Karnataka to come up with the idea to support our migrant laborers. With the help of our ex-RI alumni, that's also Jesuit alumni, and St. Joseph's College alumni, and our staff and students, we had ration program. We distributed ration to over 1 lakh families, ration enough for 1 month. One. That is for the across Karnataka. We did that. Then, secondly, E program continues now. Now, what do? Now, migrant laborers are few. What you have done is, alumni has collected various funding from various companies, industries where they are working, like ITC, and we are supplying food, and especially hygienic food to hospitals where there are COVID patients, the health workers, doctors, nurses, and other workers, health workers. That we are doing. Then, yeah, in this also, we are in touch with our people. We have got a helpline, open helpline by our Department of Psychology Counseling, any person can call up and get psychological help.
That's nice. That's very fantastic. Okay, you have taken initiative. You want to say something,
Just
Dr. Please.
to what my principal said, there are a lot of initiatives that have gone in these last 3 to 5 months, some of which Father had highlighted. Even within the campus, if you look at it now, the new academic year has started. Students are asked to pay fee. Now the management has also said no. They've also given a lot of time for them to take over it, which is again something that we have. Then we have the preferential option for the poor, as I said, which is also again in terms of management concessions. Yeah, we have reduced the fee also for students who have emailed to the finance officer asking for a fee concession. So that is again something that we do within. But outside, if you look at it, there are at least 10 different initiatives that are happening right now based on the college in the immediate society that we interact with. So these are some of the examples that we have.
So nice of, I wish that you please more in addition, what you are doing is fantastic. If you can focus on employability ratio, that will be much more helpful to the economy. Now, second question, an important one, and I think so all our institution would like to listen. How you feel you are different from other HEIs, from other institution around your fraternity, around the country or around the city? How you feel it's a different? That one line, please.
The difference that I would say is, as I said, like, we are an inclusive body. The management are well connected with the faculty. The faculty is well connected with that of the students. The rapport that the students have with the faculty and the faculty have with the management is something amazing. I have been here for the last 17 years. What more can I say this? Like, we are very well connected. So this is something which is the uniqueness of it. The college offers flexibility to the faculty. They can come up with whatever ideas, suggestions that they have. They can present it to the management, and they are very good listeners. They try to help you, to kind of, give a shape to whatever your ideas, your thought are there into reality. The same thing is with the students. When the students come to the faculty are very, very approachable. They come and talk to the students. It could be direct, it could be via phones, it could be we are very, very approachable when it comes to the students interacting with us and all of that. So I think this is something very unique, and at the same time we adapt to the situations. We are not complacent. We though we are already with the fourth cycle and all, there is a lot of every now and then kind of a discussions, debate as to where do we move from here. Okay, it's like never that we get kind of relax. Today I've done with my presentation, would be like, what next should I be kind of doing? So that sort of a thing is there in all the students, the management, and the faculty. I think that's something the unique, and Alan has something more to add on.
Just to add to Dr. Wajid, the faculty profile and the student profile also we can consider. We have faculty who come from different parts of our country. It's not just that because Bangalore is the capital of Karnataka doesn't mean that everyone comes from Karnataka. We have faculty who come from across the country, and each of their profiles also, if you look at it, many of us have had PhDs from countries abroad, from different institutions, central universities as well, and then we come. So the diversity of the faculty itself is something very unique that we see, and the diversity of the students whom we get. I also initially stated that we also have refugee students. We have special consideration for orphans and semi-orphans, and we also have considerations for different populations like the children of Devdasi communities and all, which makes our student communities to be very unique. And the third is again to stress upon that particular fact of flexibility that we have. I would say that it is a boon that we are employed in a Jesuit institution, because even till the higher authority, the faculties have the mobility to go and address our problems. We can, like Principal is here, I can approach him anytime, or even the rector for that matter, or anybody for that matter. There is no hierarchy set in place where I have to go through these loopholes or through these steps only, which doesn't happen in not many institutions. I can directly approach my principal. I have a grievance, I can put it forth to him, he can clarify it to me. So I think, as educationists, that is very important for us. And I feel that we have such a privilege given for us, which makes us unique.
Yeah. I got just answer for your previous question and the present question also. Previous question, we had relief work phase 1, I told you. Relief work phase 2, I told you, which is going on now. Relief work phase 3, we have already planned and on the anvil to train all unskilled laborers, especially migrant laborers in our campus in the evenings, and to employ them. And we have earmarked, our aim is at least few lakhs, at least 10 lakhs we have earmarked to train youth into communities, that community college system, so that they are skilled and employed. That is also with the XLRI, the Management Institute, and St. Joseph's College. What is unique to the institution? What I feel is that 3 H's: head, heart, and head thinkers. Heart, one who feels for society, feel for each other. Third, hands, one who serves society.
Excellent answer, sir. That was the slide, I think, so what Dr. Saeed has shared in his initial presentation. Fantastic. That shows the presence of mind. Before moving, let me answer one question was raised by one of the participants. I think, so what about the research by student from the NAAC point of view? See, research by student, we have very well come out with the criteria innovation ecosystem, where we want that the students and the teachers should be encouraged, so by forming some committees or some meetings, or likewise. And if any student goes for research, naturally it will be under the mentorship of some or the teacher, and that will be beneficial to the student, of course. Okay, and one more thing, one student support and progression, one criteria is there also in student performance and activity. There you can put that inputs of the student for his own credit. That was the answer for the same. So moving ahead, yes, of course, Dr. Victor ji, Dr. Alan, Saeed ji, you have very nicely narrated everything and elaborated that engaging minds. You are really engaging that arts, research, extension, and education very nicely. You have, of course, answered the things, all the queries profoundly with the presence of mind. Now I request Dr. Srinivas, you please proceed and ask Dr. Ravi Prasad to come forward. Please.
Sir, we can ask Prasad to conclude, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, Prasad.
Good afternoon, Prasad. Please continue.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good afternoon to one and all. Respected Honorable Director, sir, Professor Amya Kumarat, sir, and Dr. Devendra Kavade, sir, Dr. Srinivas, sir, all my colleagues of NAAC, Principal of St. Joseph College, Dr. Victor Lobo, sir, IQC Coordinator of St. Joseph College, Dr. Syed Wajid, sir, and all participants from various parts of the country. I would like to share my vote of thanks. On this occasion, it gives me an immense pleasure to propose vote of thanks for this best practices series webinar hosted by NAAC and presented by
Prasad, your voice
is muted.
Prasad, you have muted yourself.
Prasad, unmute.
Unmute. You have muted yourself. Now it's
okay. Carry on.
First of all, I am very much thankful to our Honorable Director, Professor S.C. Sharma, sir, for his valuable support, encouragement, and providing the opportunity for the organization of this webinar. Thank you, sir. I am thankful to Dr. Devendra Kavade, sir, Deputy Advisor NAAC, for his continuous support while making this event very much successful. Thank you, sir. I would like to express my deep gratitude to Dr. S. Srinivas, sir, Deputy Advisor NAAC, for taking the efforts in organizing this webinar. I would also like to express my deep gratitude wholeheartedly to the principal of St. Joseph College and IQC coordinator for accepting our request immediately and responded positively for making the presentation on the best practices incorporated by the college. In this occasion, I would like to thank especially the principal, Dr. Victor Lobo, sir, for presenting the insight on St. Joseph College. I would like also to thank specially for Dr. Syed Wajid, sir, for delineating that best practices in an excellent way. Your presentation would definitely create encouragement to many institutions to follow and implement to improve the quality in higher education. Thank you, sir. Also, I would like to thank all staff of St. Joseph College for clarifying all the queries posed by participants in a very lucid manner. I am thankful to Professor Amya Kumarat, sir, Advisor NAAC, for his immense support for this webinar, as well as for moderating the question and answer session. Thank you, sir. In this webinar, around 459 participants are attended on behalf of NAAC family. I am very much thankful to all the participants from different parts of the country for their active participation. I also acknowledge the contribution of all advisors, deputy advisors, assistant advisors, consultants, all NAAC officers, staff for making this program happen and making it successful. I'm once again thank everyone. Thank you and all.
Yeah, before ending, so many thanks, Prasad ji, for a nice vote of thanks. Before ending, let me share something. Yes, of course, Father Victor ji, Dr. Alan Godfrey ji, there is a lot of expectation from you, from the society, and you have to come out with that because you are doing a very good job. Now, I have an appeal to all the participants. Friends, we are continuing with such type of A++ HEIs related webinars with the best practices. You please keep on logging our NAAC portal to see which are the events which are going to happen related with that. And immediately day after tomorrow, we have one third such webinar. And next month again we will be moving ahead with such webinar. So please keep on checking it the same, and yes, just participate for your own growth. We believe with these efforts of our director, with the efforts of our all colleagues in the NAAC, there will be a big change in the quality in higher education around the country with your help. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
We will keep in touch.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amay Kumar ji, please end the meeting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ravanaji, yes.
Yes, thank you,
Can we
sir.
close?
Yes, please. So nice of you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Namaste.